Maniford Trial. um, his judge is Paul Maniford, and he had 18 charges against him, and they found him guilty of 8. There was one juror that said she couldn't see where he was guilty of these other ones on beyond a reasonable doubt. So one juror out of the whole jury only wanted to charge him with 8 guilty charges. 10 she wanted to drop, and that's the way it ended up. And the charges he faced were bank fraud, tax fraud, and failing to file reports of his foreign bank accounts. He had several foreign bank accounts, and it went on for a couple of days, and the judge talked to him. In fact, some of the other jurors talked with this lady, and one thing the judge told them not to talk to anybody outside the public about what was going on in the court or about the verdict. And this one juror was Duncan. She was talking as hard as she could, and she tried to get this other lady to change her plea or do something with her plea. She would not. She said she couldn't see beyond a reasonable doubt where he was guilty of those other 10 charges. And they talked and talked, and then I think the judge talked to him, and I think he could be retried if they wanted to on those 10 charges that the jury couldn't agree on. But the whole trial sounded strange to me. It looked like he was promised a pardon to start with, because he didn't get up on the stand. He had no witnesses, and after the state finished their case, they said, "Thank you, Your Honor, we're ready for the verdict." And the charges that he got, those 8 charges that he's guilty on, he can get a lot of time on that. But I think their plan was, let's just make it real simple for the government, because we're just going through the motions anyway, and after the trial, Trump will give me a pardon. And I don't know if he talked to Trump about it, but I think he did. Because then he has another case pending now, I think, in New York, and the charges are way stronger than here, and there's way more evidence here, triple the evidence, and he'd have to go to another trial. So if he gets a pardon now, then he wouldn't have to go to that trial, and this trial would be nullified because of the pardon. I don't know, it's interesting, but the other thing that makes this strange is the day that he was found guilty, they were supposed to, he figured they'd have this worked out the next day and Trump would have me a pardon. That same day, Cohen turned around and pled guilty. Cohen is Trump's lawyer, and they're supposed to be big buddies. All these people in this case are supposed to be real big buddies, including the guy that prints the magazine, the big magazine. He's supposed to be in with them. They're all in together. And now the magazine man, for no prosecution toward him, which he also said, "No, I'll testify against Trump." And then Cohen, the same day, he was over there, and then they started some things about his wife signing those fraudulent tax returns with him, and they might go after his wife too. Bam! When they said that, he jumped up and said, "I'm ready to plead guilty," and he pled guilty, I think, to four charges, but they didn't give him a sentence yet. So now he's definitely moved to the other side. He's against Trump. And this Manford sort of got surprised because all this was going on at the same time. The jury came out and found him guilty. He didn't say a word to nobody. his attorneys didn't say nothing, didn't put up no evidence, um, and everything was finished. And they saved the government a lot of time, and then he figured Trump would give him a pardon. But I don't know. This girl that's doing all the talking, she said that this Paula Duncan, she gave her name. She's not supposed to, but she said that the prosecutors looked like they were bored, and some of them were falling asleep during this big trial. So she said that prosecuting attorneys looked like they were a little bored. And she said she saw them napping during the trial. So they didn't think that much of it either, although his charges were big and he can do a lot of time. But I think that the deal was set up before where he would get a pardon. Now, Giuliani, Trump's other lawyer, said today nobody's getting no pardons right now. No pardons, everything's on hold. And I also figured Cohn would want a pardon, but I thought when Cohn put in his plea, he mentioned he didn't want a pardon, whatever that means. I mean, I guarantee if the president gives him a pardon, he'll take it, because he pled guilty to 4 charges. He had a lot of charges against him with these cabs and taking money, filing fraudulent tax returns, things like that. And they said, by the way, you know, your wife signed the tax returns with you, so if we want, we can go after her. And then he changed his story and outlook immediately when they said that they might go after his wife. But I don't know how this is going to come out, especially now that this magazine guy that's supposed to be Trump's big buddy has turned against him, and they said they're going to let him. They're not going to indict him with anything. They didn't say they were giving him a pardon. They just said that he's not getting any kind of prosecution or anything. And I don't know. Now they're waiting to see how many stories he has against Trump. We know about 2 women. One of them he gave 130, the other one 150,000. But they think he's saying he has a safe in his office that's locked, and in that safe is all kind of information about people. And now everybody's saying they want to get into the safe and see what's in there about who or who had these affairs or whatever, because I don't know. Trump might have had some other girlfriends or whatever, but whatever relationship he had with this guy, which is his best friend, the papers will be in that safe if we can get a hold of it. So I think unless he turns over the safe, I think he'll turn over the safe to the prosecutors, tell you the truth, Mueller, and let them look in the safe. But if he won't turn it over, I guarantee you they're gonna go get a warrant and search his offices and the whole works. But right now he's sort of worked it out, and I think he'll give them the safe, and that's going to have a lot of other information in it about people and maybe payoffs and things like that. And then because he doesn't want to be prosecuted, but as far as Maniford, I don't know. His next trial is coming up, I think, in 3 or 4 weeks in New York. And if the pardon's off now, they're going to have to get ready for that case. And there's way more evidence in that case, supposedly 3 times the paperwork in that case that they had in this case. But I still, personally, I can't figure out why his lawyers, he wouldn't let them ask one question, or I don't mean one question, but I don't think put up one witness for his side of the case. Nor would he let them put up Maniford, his lawyers. He wouldn't testify. He said he wasn't testifying, but he had all these other people that could have been going over some of these bank loans and all that. These bank loans has all kind of paperwork. You've seen them, closing statements, deeds, mortgages, everything, which they could have gone into, and they could have put up witnesses, but they didn't put up one witness. And I don't know if Maniford, I have a feeling he was promised a pardon, and therefore he was just laying low during this case, figuring he'd never have to go to the next case. But let's see what all happens. This is all going to come out because this has been a very, very rough week for a lot of people, including Mr. Trump. We appreciate it and thank you.